Hello dear students, I welcome you all to the third session of root words. So as you all know, root words approach is the best way to develop a good vocab. It will help boost your score in all upcoming exams, be it banking exams or SSC exams, because we all know that in SSC exams such questions like synonyms, antonyms are definitely asked, and in banking exams also you come across a hell lot of new words, right? So if you don't know the meaning of the words, you will not be able to answer the question perfectly, right? So in order to have a good grasp on vocabs, in order to develop a good stock of words, you need to follow the root words approach. So let's start today's session. So the root, CAPT, capt, or sept, CEPT, sept, right? So this actually means take or hold, right? Capt or sept means take or hold, fine. Now captivating, captivating means taking hold of, right? So the synonyms include enchanting, enthralling, beguiling, bewitching, fascinating. These are the synonyms of captivating, right? Next, intercept, that is to stop or interrupt, right? That is to stop or interrupt. To intercept someone means you are stopping someone or you are interrupting someone, right? Fine. Now the antonyms of captivating are annoy, bore, depress, disappoint, disenchant, disgust, right? And the antonyms of intercept include allow or encourage, fine, allow or encourage, understood? That is intercepting, you are intercepting someone when he is talking, means you are cutting him or interrupting him while he is delivering a speech, fine. So just the opposite will be to encourage or allow, right? You are allowing him to speak, encouraging him to speak, right? Now as for captivating, we have often come across the phrase, we can say, captivating beauty, right? Captivating smile, isn't it? So what is the meaning? Means bewitching beauty, fascinating, right? Enthralling beauty, right? Capable of attracting someone. Like you can see two beautiful ladies here, right? Most of you must be knowing her from Slumdog Millionaire and her from Titanic, right? So captivating beauty, enthralling beauty, attractive personality, right? Charming, fine. So you can easily remember the meaning of captivating in this way, fine. Captivating. Now cost or caught means to burn, right? It literally means to burn. Now caustic, actual meaning is capable of burning or eating away, right? Now caustic, the synonyms of caustic include acerbic, bitter, erosive, mordant, virulent, right? Vitriolic. I had mentioned this very word vitriolic. It is a hot favorite of IBPS, rather banking exams, right? Acerbic, it is also a common word which we come across in banking exams, right? So these refer to vitriolic. Acerbic means a toxic personality, right? So suppose Mr. X is having a vitriolic personality, right? He is vitriolic, Mr. X is vitriolic, right? Then it means he has a toxic personality, right? So that is caustic. And just the opposite is kind, someone who is kind, mild, soothing personality, bland, right? The opposite of caustic, that is antonyms, include bland, kind, mild and soothing. Suppose I am saying Mr. X is having Mr. X is a vitriolic person, right? Means he is a toxic person, right? Sarcastic, bitter, right? It means caustic. And if I say Mr. Y has a soothing personality, that is, he is kind, right, mild personality, just the opposite of caustic or vitriolic, right. Next, Holocaust, total devastation, especially by fire or chaos, right, destruction, utter destruction, सब कुछ बर्बाद हो जाना, ठीक है ना, Holocaust, especially by fire. And cauterize, what is the meaning? To burn with a hot instrument. Fine, it is quite uncommon, I would say, but you must know the meaning of the word cauterize, right. Next, centro or sentry, it means center, right, it means center. Now, eccentric, what is the meaning of eccentric? Eccentric means someone who is not quite normal, you know, someone who is a bit abnormal, right, peculiar type, right. Eccentric personality, he has an eccentric personality, he is an eccentric man, means he is quite abnormal. The synonyms you can say unconventional, right, something that is not conventional, not of the convention, right. Uncommon means not so common. Abnormal means someone who is not actually normal, right. It seems it may seem that he is normal, but with his behavior we can understand that he is abnormal, right. Eccentric person, right. Irregular, aberrant, anomalous, bizarre, weird, peculiar, strange, right. Eccentric behavior means strange, abnormal behavior, right. And just the opposite is common, quite common, right. Conventional, familiar, normal, right. You can easily understand the antonyms if you know the synonyms, isn't it? So here you can see a very famous person, most of us are familiar with this character, it is of Mr. Bean, right, Mr. Bean. So you have often seen in the series, right, that he is having an eccentric behavior, isn't it? Fine, see in this picture he is sitting on the top of his car, right, and then trying to drive with a I had seen this episode, he's perhaps trying to drive and he's moving the steering wheel with his with a broom, right, with a broomstick, and he talks to his teddy. That's quite normal for children, but it's quite abnormal for adults, right. So, and his activities prove that I mean his activities exhibit in the series, his activities exhibit that he is having an eccentric behavior, right, not quite conventional, I would rather say, not quite conventional or normal, right, peculiar behavior, right. So I hope you will now remember what is the meaning of eccentric, right. This is why I believe in the audiovisual approach, or better to say learning with the use of visual images, right, with the use of pictures, fine, so that it gets embedded in your memory, ठीक है ना, मतलब आप अगर पिक्चर देख के कुछ चीज समझते हैं तो वो दिमाग में बैठ जाता है, ठीक है ना, याद रहता है. Now centrifugal, what does it mean? It means moving outward from the center, fine. And I missed one thing, one word, that is centripetal, means acting towards the center, fine, just the opposite of centrifugal, fine. A centrifuge, centrifuge is a machine, type of machine, centrifuge. I am writing it down, wait, centrifuge, fine. So what is a centrifuge? Centrifuge is a type of machine, fine, centrifuge, and it actually works on the principle of centrifugal force, fine. So centrifuge, what does the centrifuge machine do? It helps in separation of fluids, right, on the basis of density, right. Centrifuge is used for separating cream separating the cream from milk. Fine. So it basically works on the principle of centrifugal force. Centrifugal means moving outward from the center, tendency to move outward, right? Now next, chron or chrono. What is the meaning? It means time. The meaning of this root is time. Fine. Now, chronic. What is the meaning of chronic? Most of you must have gone through this, come across this very word chronic. इसका मतलब क्या है? Lasting for a long time. That is continuing. Fine. Inveterate. Just the opposite is inconstant, ceasing, ending. Fine. Chronic, like suppose someone has a chronic disease. Fine. Chronic means it has been happening from a long time, right? Let me write it down for you. It will be helpful to remember. Chronic disease. Chronic disease, इसका मतलब क्या है? Most of the doctors write in the prescription if you are suffering from a long time. Fine. Chronic disease means you are suffering from a long time. Suffering from a disease for a long time. Pardon my handwriting. Okay, I hope it is legible, understandable, because I am reading it out. Suffering from a disease for a long time, that is, it is a chronic disease. Fine. And also you have come across the word acute, right? Acute, and acute condition means it has just started, right? It is not chronic, just the opposite of chronic. Fine. So chronic means happening for a or lasting for a long time, continue. Suppose you have been suffering from 3 years, right? So it will be a chronic disease in that case. Now, chronology. Most of you must have come across this word chronology. It means the order in which a series of events happened, a list of these events in order, right? That is chronology. So most of you must have seen the speech, or seen or heard the speech of Shri Amit Shah, okay, our Home Minister. Fine. He had given a speech to the media. Fine. आप लोगों को तो बहुत लोगों को पता होगा, ठीक है ना? So, and this particular dialogue of Amit Shah ji had become quite famous, right? So what is he saying? He is saying आप chronology समझिए, ठीक है ना? So he was perhaps referring to the CAA or NRC, like that. I don't want to go into politics, but he was trying to make the media persons understand the actual chronology of the events, that is the series of events. Fine. Series of events. Chronology means a list of these events in order. मतलब किसके बाद क्या आएगा, ठीक है ना? Suppose event 1 is happening, then event 2 will happen. So he is trying to make you understand. आप chronology समझिए, मतलब try to understand the chronology or sequence of events. You can also say sequence, right? किसके बाद क्या होगा, ठीक है ना? मतलब suppose a patient is severely ill, right? So he has been rushed to the hospital. उनको hospital लाया गया है. So try to understand the chronology. He has been taken to the hospital. Then the doctor attends to him, and then he administers some medicine or injections. After that, he gets well, he recovers, and then he leaves the hospital. Fine. So ये एक series of events है कि नहीं? A series of events happening in time, right? Sequence of events, that is patient को hospital लाया गया, डॉक्टर ने अटेंड किया, ठीक है, डॉक्टर मेडिसिन या इंजेक्शन दिया, उन्होंने मेडिसिन या इंजेक्शन दिया पेशेंट को, उसके बाद पेशेंट रिकवर हो गया है, फिर पेशेंट हॉस्पिटल छोड़ के जाता है, ठीक है ना. सो दिस इज द क्रोनोलॉजी ऑफ इवेंट्स, राइट. आप क्रोनोलॉजी समझ सकते हैं ना. दिस इज द सीक्वेंस ऑफ इवेंट्स. नाउ chronological comes from chronology itself, arranging events in time order or sequential, in sequential order, right. Now synchronize, another important word to make something happen or work at the same time or speed, that is harmonize or integrate, right. Synchronize, fine. Next, circum, what is the meaning? इसका मतलब क्या है? Around or about. Circum, fine. Circumnavigate, what is the meaning of circumnavigate? Means to sail around. To sail around. Next, circumscribe means to draw around, means confine, limit or restrict. Circumscribe, fine. Suppose here you are standing, so someone has drawn a line, fine, all around you in a circle, so it's circumscribing, right. That is, this is your limit. You cannot, you can come here, you can go there, right, but you cannot leave this circle, just like Lakshman Rekha, है कि नहीं. So you cannot leave this circle. This is your limit, this is your boundary, that is your movement is restricted. आपका movement restrict किया गया है. You cannot leave this circle, isn't it? So you are being restricted, your movement is limited, restricted, or you are confined within this circle. Understood? Now just the opposite of circumscribe is assist, fine. Now circumspect means looking around. Inspect का मतलब तो आपको पता है, to verify, right, and it means looking around. Discreet, perceptive, careful, considerate, sympathetic, fine. Opposite is careless or foolish, someone who cannot circumspect, a foolish person. Next, circumvent means to go around or bypass restrictions. Understood? This is the meaning, and these are the synonyms: besiege, siege, surround, beleaguer, deceive or evade. Evade, you must have come across this word very often, right. To evade, to evade being to evade the police, right. The thief evaded his prying eyes and escaped prison. मतलब चोर ने, the thief, चोर ने चकमा देकर भाग गया. So the English will be, the thief evaded his prying eyes, or evaded his excuse me, evaded his surveillance and escaped, right, or escaped from prison. Understood? So that is circumvent, evade, and just the opposite is aid, assist, encourage. Understood? Next, cline or cleave. What is the meaning of cline or cleave? The meaning of this root is lean or slope. Now inclination, inclination word कहाँ से आता है? Incline, fine. Suppose this is a hill, fine. So this is the inclination, slope, isn't it? Slope. So from here the word inclination comes, right. That is leaning towards, right. Inclination towards someone means liking someone, fancy, tendency, wish, affection, attachment, propensity, bias. You have an inclination. Suppose I am saying you have an inclination towards Mr. Subramaniam, means you are biased, right. You may or may not have an attachment, but you are biased, fine. Then we can say the boss has an inclination towards Ramesh, means the boss is biased, right? When it comes to promotions or anything or increment, then he is biased. He has affection or tendency to give Ramesh a promotion. समझ में आया मतलब? Fascination, predilection, propensity, bias. Fine. And just the opposite of inclination is unconcerned, indifference, neutrality, apathy, non-challenge, heedlessness, insouciance, means you are not having any attachment towards someone. You don't have an inclination, means you are not paying any heed to that person. Heedlessness, right? Indifference, the spelling will be indifference, right? Double F, indifference. Okay. And incline, just as I said, bow, bend, slope or gradient, right? Slope or gradient. Okay. Incline. Now proclivity, cleave root word से है. Proclivity means inclination. Again, inclination, natural tendency or leaning, right? Next, and incline का opposite है raise or lift. Fine. Now declivity means descent, drop or downturn, or you can say fall. Fine. Descent. Fine. Something which is falling, right? And proclivity means tendency, natural tendency to rise or inclination. Fine. Now recline, another important word, recline, very important, means to lean back, lie, lounge, rest, repose. So most of you have come across this word, recliner chair. Some people may have it in their homes. So what is a recliner chair? In this chair you just push a button. See, she is pushing a button and this will come up. You can rest your feet here and this will go down. Fine. So the chair will be like this after pushing the button. Fine. That is, it is a recliner chair. That is, you can just lean back and rest, isn't it? Recliner chair. Fine. So recline से ही आता है ये concept, recliner chair. Now decline, something that is declining, right, means something that is reducing, shrinking, means quantity में कम हो रहा है. ठीक है. Suppose the population of a village A, the population of a village A was 1.5 lakh in 2019. Now it has declined, shrunk or reduced. In 2020 it is only 50,000, 50k, 50,000. So it means the population has gone down, it has declined, it has dwindled, right? Dwindled. Fine. Other synonyms include deteriorate, fail, diminish, lessen, wane. Wane is a very important synonym of decline. Wane, shrink, reduce, dwindle, another important word, dwindle, wane. Now just the opposite of decline is increase, proliferate. Proliferate, very important word, proliferate means increase. Just the opposite of decrease is increase, we all know, and decline means decrease, and opposite of decline will be increase or proliferate, right? Proliferate means to increase in number, to increase. Fine. Opposite of decline. Now last but not the least for today, clud, class, clause or clause. It means all of these, all the roots mean close or shut, बंद हो जाना. ठीक है ना, बंद. Okay. Conclusion, that is ending, isn't it? Ending. See, ending. Finale, determination, termination. Fine. Now cloistered means covered walk. The literal meaning, cloistered means covered walk along the side of a church, right? The synonyms include shut or secluded. Fine. Secluded. Fine. Next, cluster. What is the meaning of cluster? See, in the picture it is given, cluster. Cluster means एक साथ हो जाना. ठीक है ना, मतलब group, collect, together, bunch, gather, huddle. Fine. A group of persons or things, cluster. Group of persons or things, right? It can be non-living thing, entity also. Fine. A cluster of cells. Fine. A cluster of cells means a group of cells, group of 4 cells you can see here. It means a cluster of cells. Fine. Forming a cluster means forming a single, trying to form a single entity, forming a group, isn't it? Cluster. Just the opposite is disperse. Disperse का मतलब क्या है? To spread out. Fine. To spread out in all directions. Cluster का just opposite है disperse. Fine. To move out in all directions. We often come across such a sentence in editorials or articles, fine, of newspapers, that the crowd dispersed means जो crowd था एक साथ, बहुत लोग एक साथ थे, so they dispersed. Fine. They moved out in all directions. Understood? Next, reclusive means isolated, secluded, cloistered, solitary or ascetic. Reclusive. Someone who is an ascetic means he is living a secluded life, right? Far away from society, right? And just the opposite is sociable, gregarious. Fine. Okay. Next, claustrophobia. What is the meaning of claustrophobia? It means fear of closed spaces. See, it is quite evident in the picture. Claustrophobia. This person is trapped in this particular place, closed space. It can be a lift, it can be an elevator or lift, or it can be a closed box. So he is having claustrophobia means he is having a fear of closed spaces. Fine. Suppose someone is having claustrophobia, if he enters an elevator or a lift, he will feel suffocated. उनका दम घुट रहा होगा, है कि नहीं? So he is suffering from claustrophobia, fear of closed spaces. Now seclude means isolate, hide, cloister, sequester. Fine. Conceal. Understood? Seclude, isolated. And then comes the word seclusion means isolation. Isolation. Fine. Or solitude. Just the opposite is, opposite of seclusion is to make public. Fine. Just the opposite of isolation, isn't it? Then exclude. You must be knowing the meaning of this word exclude. It means to deny or keep out, miss out, omit, reject. You are excluding someone from the team, means you are not allowing him to participate. Fine. You are rejecting someone, you are omitting that person, right? And just the opposite is include. You are including someone in your team, right? Include. And occlude. Occlude का मतलब क्या है? Block, stop, obstruct, prevent, right? Other synonyms are preclude, impede, inhibit or bar. Fine. He was सपोज IPS का जो नोटिफिकेशन है IBPS का, उसमें आपको देखने को मिलेगा कि someone who carries out malpractices, fine, in the during the examination will be barred from taking further examinations, right? Means he will be inhibited, he will be prevented from taking further examinations, right? That is to bar someone, means to inhibit someone, to prevent someone from doing something. That is occlude, another important word. Fine. Occlude. So this was all for today's session. So we will go through the part 4, right? In the next session we will go through more root words, we will come across a variety of other words, right? It will help you when you are going through the root word approach to develop your vocab. It will help you to expose yourself to a variety of words, right? So it will be highly beneficial for you to develop a good stock of words, because if you know the meaning of the words, you can easily find out the synonym, antonym, or you can easily solve the fillers, right? Fillers, RC. In RC also you come across in reading comprehension, RC, fillers. Fine. In reading comprehension, especially in the mains, Also in the prelims sometimes, especially in the mains, you come across critical passages, isn't it, in the PO mains or clerk mains, right, especially in the PO mains. So when you come across critical passages, you will find a variety of words, critical words. Suppose you don't know the meaning of this word, of that word, particular word, you can easily understand or guess, you can make a sure guess that the meaning of this word is this, right, if you know the root of that word. Are you trying to understand what I am trying to deliver? Okay, so it will also help in synonyms, antonyms, fine, synonyms, antonyms, fillers, RC, understanding or deciphering the meaning of words. It will be highly beneficial for you. So if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe, because there will be a series of root words videos. Please do save the playlist. Fine, you will find a playlist of root words, playlist of current affairs, fine, root words, there are many playlists, okay, on this channel, root words. Then you will find a playlist of current affairs, CA, excel in current affairs. Then you will find playlist of maths master stroke, fine, it is particularly for specifically for SSC and railways, maths master stroke, fine. Then there is a playlist of excel in English, excel in English. In that the videos of the previous classes or live classes of English are available, fine. Classes by Dipanjan sir are also available within that playlist, Dipan sir and Hussain sir, okay. And please do save all these playlists, and in the root words playlist all the videos will be updated every week, fine. So this was part 3. So let's meet in the next session in part 4. Till then, stay home, stay safe, and best of luck for all your upcoming exams. Goodbye. God bless you guys.